Well, welcome. We are live. I haven't flown in a very long time doing some live stream stuff, so I decided we would do it today. I used to go live multiple times a day, multiple times a week over on some other platforms, but we no longer use those platforms, so we will not be doing that. So we are just chilling over here on YouTube. Welcome. If you're new here, say hello. And if you're not new here, even more reason to say hello. But we are just flying and practicing. You know, maybe I'll race later. We'll have to get some people in here for me to embarrass myself racing, but we might be able to. You'll just have to let me know if that's what we want to do. So, hey, we got 4 viewers. What's good? And I will do my best to. Oh, Peyton! What is up, boy? How are you doing? You need to be going live. Guys, everyone go to Peyton's channel because he's the man. He just made this video about creatine and what it does to your body over the course of, I think, 30 days. And so his intro is killer on that video. Dude did an awesome job. So go check him out. Freaking love you, Peyton. Tell your dad I said hi too. I miss that man. No. Stupid fence. Come on, bruh. I guess we could do some racing if I do so feel inclined. I've never live streamed while I've raced. I've live streamed while trying to like learn freestyle tricks and stuff like that, but I've never live streamed while racing. And so I can talk and normally look at chat while I'm freestyling, but I can't really do it while racing, I don't think. So that'll be an interesting thing whenever we get there. But if you are viewing this stream, send a chat. Let me know who you are and that you're watching. I plan on doing a ton more of these in the future. I very much so enjoy doing these live streams. They're a ton of fun, and it's a way for me to be able to connect with y'all. So let's connect and let me know where you're from. If you currently fly drones, if you don't fly drones, if you want to fly drones. Oh, look at that. Peyton just texted me. Peyton's the sweetest, man. Freaking love that dude. Yeah, let me know if you what your interests are. We're just chilling. Look at him. He's texting me. Peyton, you're gonna have to stop texting me. I'm trying to stream. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Can I fly and text? He said he finna rewatch the stream. All right, we've got 8 people in here. Comment where you're from, if you fly drones, if you don't. Let's if you have questions about drones, I'm not like the most expert person. I'm not on Joshua Bardwell's level, but I can help you out as much as possible. Your boy just enjoys flying. Oh, and getting stuck and crashing. We can do all kinds of stuff. I'll try to keep it interesting and not do all the same tricks, but you can ask people who watch my YouTube videos. I do turn to the right a lot, which is a problem. No, I turn to the left a lot. Yeah, it's to the left. And I need to start turning to the right more. And hit that gap. Oh, here we go. Let's try this gap real quick. I haven't done this one in a long time. So you come right here, and then we're going to go flip down the ladder all the way down. Whoa, okay, nope, that ain't it. Let's try it again. Or should we start up a little higher? Because we can technically start up here and go through here, flip. Oh, we got out of it, but that's not good. That's not what we want. Let's get in here, flip. What is my camera angle at? That's not how you change it in this one. Okay, so we're at 15, which is what I normally fly freestyle-wise anyways, so it's not the camera angle we are struggling with. It is my skills. Shocker, right? There's an amazing pilot named CJ, and there was one time whenever we were both playing this, and we just sat here for like an hour trying to hit that gap. I just haven't flown this simulator in forever. It is we almost got we got about halfway down. I ain't too mad about that. For not having flown like this in a while. I'm not too mad about it. But these challenges are the fun ones. What would y'all think? So this game does have a multiplayer thing on it, so I'm wondering if I started doing like streams and having to where like if you're a member or something you can join the server and fly with me live on stream or something like that. Is this simulator to real life drones? Yeah, so this is exactly the same as flying a real life drone. So I've got my controller right here that I'm controlling it with. And this simulator is called Velocidrone, and it's pretty much the closest simulator that you can get to flying a real drone in terms of the gravity and stuff like that on it. Now there are some other ones that I do enjoy. There are other simulators that I like some have racetracks that is better, some have better graphics and things like that, but for streaming this one is probably the least heavy on my system because we're streaming off a Mac, and so I just can't, I can't push that with a Mac and trying to stream. Can we join? I don't have it in multiplayer right now. I think because this is my first stream on YouTube, I don't think I'm gonna have multiplayer open, but I do want to absolutely do some like multiplayer streams where people can jump on the server. Maybe do some like member streams to where like if you're a member, you're able to jump on kind of thing. But I truly don't know what I'm going to do with this. I used to stream a lot on other platforms, and I had a group of guys that we would all jump in a multiplayer thing, kind of play like drone, like horse, but with drones. And so we might do some more of that stuff soon. Hoping to get my buddy Kyle in here. He doesn't know that, but we just announced it to the world that we're going to have to get him. So no, right now you cannot join. I'm just in a private, single player thing. I'm not on multiplayer. I don't know. So with streaming it, I don't know with internet and with my computer handling it if it'll work with the multiplayer. This is just me doing work. Like this is gonna grow over time. I plan on streaming 2 to 3 times a week. And so there will be times where I'll have multiplayer streams and people can join in and fly and we can play games and stuff like that. But yes, that's good to know. What I should have done, and I used to do this, is whenever I just jumped, before I started the stream, I should have jumped in and made this a multiplayer and just named the server like Johnny Trigo or something like that, and then people could have joined in. Also, so another thing that I'll need to do with streaming, with having multiplayer on here, is I used to have a Discord server, so I would be able to jump on with people and like we could talk along with it, because we would, obviously be playing together instead of typing things out. So I think I need to get the Discord server back up and running So that way, if we are going to play multiplayer on here and stuff, then I can communicate with you guys and it not be through text or through me trying to read while I'm flying, because that just makes it a lot easier. But yeah, in the future, we will absolutely have some streams where it'll be multiplayer. I don't know how many people can play multiplayer on here. We could also do some racing stuff, because you could do races in here where we like. Well, I would say like the top two racers get to move on, and then everyone else kind of swaps out. The problem is I would get kicked out of the races in my own stream because your boy is not the best racer. I mean, like, I can get by. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've actually done a whole lot better in terms of racing, and this isn't a race quad or setup for my race rates, but I have done a whole lot better in terms of racing than what I used to. It used to be so bad, my racing. Like, I was absolutely atrocious at racing, and now I'm like, I can get through a course, so that works. But welcome in. If you're new here, let me know where you're from. Hit that subscribe button. This is the first stream in probably 2 years that I've done, but I'm planning on doing many more of these streams. Do you like the vertical format? Do you not like the vertical format? I don't know. Just interact with me. Come on, let's talk. Ask me questions about drones. We can do whatever we need to. Oh, you can also request tricks. So if you're like, oh, well, hey, we need to do a trippy spin, then look at that. We can do a trippy spin. Or if you're like, hey, go through the gap in the window, oh, then we can just crash. Drone training. Yes, you got it. This is absolutely drone training. I love flying in a simulator because I get to crash for free, and in real life I don't get to crash for free. I normally have to pay money anytime I crash, unless it's like in my basement and there's like a tiny whoop or something like that. But like my big drones, like what I'd be doing with this, I don't get to crash for free in real life, so I definitely enjoy simulators. But Mr. Bull, you should absolutely do it. I recommend it to everyone. It's one of those things where you can get in, you can buy a controller for 30-40 bucks, plug it into your computer, get a simulator. They've got free simulators, or there's, this one's I think is like 25 bucks. You can get a simulator, and then you can learn how to fly and figure out if you want to continue flying and stuff. And then you can do all that without having to spend the money, which now FPV is getting a little bit more affordable. Like, you can get a basic tiny whoop setup with controller and goggles and stuff for about 300 bucks. So it's getting a lot more affordable. But it's also, there are certain aspects of it that are a lot more expensive now, especially when you start getting into like digital drones and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I always recommend a simulator. It's an easy way. Yeah, learn the mistakes first. The sim is Velocidrone. You've had a go with the DJIs. Yeah, so I mean, I've got the Avata 2, I've got the Mavic 3, I've had so many DJI drones, and I do enjoy them. But I will say that there is a difference between flying traditional FPV drones and even the DJI FPV drones. Like the Avata 2, while it has its strengths, it does not fly the same way that my big FPV drones. Can you adjust the rates roughly? Yes. So in this one, you can adjust your rates. Pretty much every brand of drone they have, or like popular ones. So I just did a review video on the newbie drone Hummingbird Race Spec V3.1. That's a mouthful. And they had that drone in this game. So before I got it, whenever I was going to go make the review on it, I was able to practice in the simulator with that exact drone. And so that drone is a race spec drone, and it's probably the first, actually it is the first race spec drone I've ever had. And so having it on here allowed me to kind of get used to it. And then I was able, whenever I got it, it was like nothing. Did you buy your own drone? Did I build? So I have built my own drones for them, and I've, customized drones and all kinds of things. I am a fan of bind and flies, and I'm also a fan of like whole systems like the DJI. I get in, I won't say a lot of trouble. Sometimes I get some hate from the FPV community because I am all I care about is stuff being practical. I don't care if like I built it myself and I specifically chose out the motors and this, that, and the other. Like I just fly. And if things work, things work. That's great. A lot of people are very particular about their setups, and you got to build your own setup and this, that, and the other. I do think it's important to build your own setup at some point because whenever you crash, you have to fix it yourself. Like you can't send it off. There is no DJI care refresh or anything like that whenever you've got a custom 5-inch or whatever drone you've got. So you do have to like learn how to repair things. So I get the sentiment of wanting to build your own and like saying you should build your own, but in my experience, it's just a little bit of soldering. Yes, DJI is fun. It is very much so restricted. Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with different types of drones. So, like, their cinema drones are obviously not for. I really just want to say not for fun. Really, like they serve a practical purpose, whereas FPV drones are more control, faster, more danger in it. If things go wrong, it's a lot more fun. And I don't know if there are goggles that you can pair with a sim. So I've got a set of old DJI goggles, and apparently I should be able to plug the goggles into the HDMI port of my computer with an adapter and see my computer display in the goggles. But then you've got latency, and it's not, it's not as good. So, oh, you've got the DJI Spark. Nice. I haven't flown that one yet. I need to. I need to get some more. I need some more money so I can buy some more DJI stuff and test it out. I've heard a lot of great things about the Spark and stuff, and I believe so. I might be wrong here. But what I would dare to say is that the Spark has the same camera as the DJI O4 air unit, and the Avata 2 has the same camera as the O4 Pro air unit. That's what I think it is. So, yeah, I don't know if that helped, like, if that explains anything or not. But the Spark has it's a decent camera. You don't get as much customization as you would on, like, an Avata 2 or even your own custom drone, but it's also not as expensive. Oh, you're an electrician by trade. Oh, if you're an electrician by trade, then you 100% can build a drone. That's not even a question. Really, the hardest part about building a drone is soldering, and if you can solder, then you're totally fine. I used to do little bitty RC cars whenever I was like 7. And that's where I learned how to solder, and so it has definitely been a good skill. And then also too, I was a musician, and so like soldering cables and pedal boards together and stuff like that. So you got the flip. How is that? I haven't tried the flip yet. There's actually, I think the only drones that I've tried from DJI in the past year is the Avata 2, because I bought that one. I had the Mini 4 Pro, actually sold that last week, and got the Mavic 3, which I know the Mavic 4 is coming out. I hope DJI will send it to me. They've worked with me in the past, but I don't think they will. I feel like they would have already sent it to me, so I probably won't be doing a review on the 4, the Mavic 4 anytime soon once it's released, but I know it's coming out soon. But I'm excited about that one. Hey, become closer in your childhood paved the way. Nice. Well, I hope that's a good thing. I don't know that I had anything paved the way for me to be flying drones. We went from wanting to be wanted to be a police officer when I was younger, and then in high school I got into music, and I was going to be a worship pastor for a church, and went to college for that. Traveled the country, did a whole bunch of stuff, and then halfway through my senior year, I dropped out of college and decided to do photography full time. So that made my parents really happy. Mini 4 Pro, Neo combined, but a coda of AI improvement needed. I'm not sure if that's a lot of. Oh, yes. Yeah, a lot of AI improvement. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's one of those things where I don't know. I like my FPV stuff because it's all me in control. A lot of the AI stuff, just didn't. I don't trust it. I don't trust like the auto landing, the return to home, all that stuff. It works, and I see other people do it, but I just don't. I don't trust it. I'm very scared of a drone flyaway, so I don't mess with that very much. Went from electronics to bigger stuff. That's awesome. I get what you're saying now. Listen, I'm trying to make my brain work. It sometimes doesn't process me flying and talking. But I will say this is good practice for me because this kind of gets me out of my brain while I'm flying, and I don't focus on mistakes as much. Is it a co-op? Yes. So there is a multiplayer mode on this game. I don't have it enabled just because this is the first stream I've done in a while, so I don't want to. I want to limit as many variables as possible. But yeah, it absolutely. No, it's so much fun to be able to fly with other people in this game. And then like we used to play like drone, and so pretty much horse but with drone. So someone would do a trick and then we'd all have to match it. That was a ton of fun. But I'll need to get, I think my Discord server is back up and running. But I'll need to get that going so that anyone who does jump in the co-op or the multiplayer would be able to communicate with everyone. Well, thank you, Mr. Bull. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do my best. What is going on? There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. I need something to drink. Not that. I need water. There we go. All right, let's rock and roll. And then, I wonder... So one of the things that I think I want to do is do like how much for a decent controller. So define decent. So it's FPV is such an interesting thing because actually, hang on, I'm gonna adjust my camera down a little bit just so maybe it sees my controller. I don't know. No, it's fine. Okay. Drone controllers are I mean, there's a lot of them. You can get different things. It depends on what you're looking for. So ELRS is the most common drone protocol out there, receiver protocol. Are we lagging? So you got like 40 hours on crash. What do you think of DJI? Sorry, hang on. Let me finish this one. Getting brain fog over here. Not brain fog. I'm just spacey a little bit. It's fine. Everything's fine. So drone controllers, it really depends on what you want. For a decent one, like I've got the Radio Master Boxer Crush, and I absolutely love this controller, but I think it was like 180. Or you can get something like a Beta FPV controller that's like $40. And technically, they can both fly with drones. This one just has a little bit more features and like modules and range and all that kind of thing. But yeah, Radio Master Pocket is a fantastic one. So you got like 40 hours on Uncrashed, but what do you think about the N3 Radio Master Pocket Meteor 65 Pro 4? I'll have the same having in the simulator. Yes, you will absolutely have the same fun that you are having in the simulator. The N3, those are the new goggles, right? There's the Goggles 3 and then the N3 maybe. Radio Master Pocket is a good one to have. And then what was the other thing? And the Meteor 65 Pro 04. Yeah, so I actually have a Meteor 75 that Beta FPV just sent me. Now it's the analog version, it's not the digital version. But I'll have a review coming out on that next week. And actually, you can see it right here. Hang on, watch this. Look, here it is. So we'll be doing a review on that next week. And then I actually have a review coming out this week of some drones that were sent to me that are kind of the more cinematic style drones that are a little bit cheaper than DJI. So you'll have to tune in to see the results of that one because I'm not going to spoil anything. But that'll come out hopefully tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Also, the audio in this game right now is lagging so hardcore in my headphones, and it's driving me insane. I wonder if I just... Oh, yeah, we just turned down the volume. Okay, so if you do anything cool like a super chat or become a member or something, I'll hopefully see it. But yeah, this is kind of... I think this is my first real-time streaming on YouTube. I've done streamed on other platforms before, but I think this is my first time on the YouTubes, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, I figure I used to do this all the time, and why not do it some more? So, but yeah, if you've got any questions or anything like that, hit me with them. Share the stream with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing a bunch more streams coming up. There's all kinds of drone videos. And then another question that I always have is like, so I own my own media company, and that's my job, and then YouTube's just kind of on the side, kind of fun kind of thing. I noticed that there's like review videos that I'll do of other camera equipment that's not a drone, and they don't do as well. Like, does anyone have any interest in other sides of filmmaking other than just drones, or even just like behind the scenes on what I do in my business, or like more behind the scenes of my actual drone jobs that I do? There was one that I did probably a month ago at a rock quarry, and that one was super cool, and I probably should have done some behind the scenes on that one, but I didn't because I was working with a new company that I hadn't worked with before. So I don't know if that's something you all would want to see or not. I also don't know, is my chat stuck? Are we stuck in here? Okay. All right, cool. I think we're good. Yeah, so behind the scenes of drone shoots, yay or nay? Are we for it? Against it? Wow, I just sounded like my mom there. My mom used to always say, yay or nay? I mean, she's alive, like it's not. Okay, that sounded really bad. All right, new topic. Okay. All right, we've got 11 people viewing in here. So where's everyone from? Where y'all at? I mean, you don't have to like give me like cities or anything, but like states, or do you have any questions about flying? Well, maybe. That's okay. Streaming is very interesting because it's kind of like you're just kind of talking to yourself. Berlin? What? That's dope. That anytime I hear Berlin, it makes me think of that show, Money Heist. That was one of the greatest shows ever. I'm disappointed that they're not renewing it for anymore, but you know. Well, awesome. Well, greetings to Berlin. I've never been to Europe before. I would love to go to Europe. I've been to a bunch of South American countries, and then I've been to a couple countries in Africa, but haven't been to Europe, haven't been to Asia, Australia. Um, yeah, I need to do some more traveling. Hopefully, if we can get book some drone jobs overseas, heck yeah. The problem is I know in Europe the drone laws are very much so different than they are here, and I think I would have to apply for a new license if I was going to go over there and fly anything. So that would not necessarily be fun for me, but I could do it. Listen, we'll apply for aim for spring or summer. Listen, I would love to. Like, you wouldn't even. It's one of those things where I tell people all the time. I work with a lot of like nonprofits and missions organizations and stuff like that, and I tell them all the time, like, if you are willing to pay for my travel, I will 100% come and film whatever documentary, commercial, recap video, pictures, whatever is needed if my travel is paid for the trip. And so that's one of the ways that I've been able to go so many places. What is the weight of this drone? Let me check. Um, I don't know if I can see. So in real life, the weight of this drone, because I have this drone, is about 600 grams, maybe 650 with a GoPro on it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anything more than two? Yes. So the good thing is though, is if I was to go to Europe to fly, I do have multiple drones that are under 250 grams that I fly with right now. That wouldn't be an issue. I would just have to bring my baby drones over there to be able to fly without a license. But also too, I mean, if I was going to be doing work over there, I would need to have the license anyways. I think. I'm not sure how the laws in Europe are. I know in America, if you are making any type of money with a drone or you are furthering a business in any way, shape, or form, you have to have a license in order to fly. So, like with realtors, they're fining realtors up to like $10,000 for each listing that they knowingly don't use a licensed drone pilot on, which is insane. So yeah, it's serious fines over here. I mean, they don't crack down on it. Like I don't see it a ton, but there are several people. I mean, I've had the FAA called on me before. That was a fun story. I was posted a video on Instagram, and so there were two highways, or there's one highway that's split in two that goes over the Ohio River here in Kentucky, and so I flew in between the highways. So you're not allowed to fly over roadways and stuff like that, but I flew in between them. And this guy started commenting on my video saying how illegal everything I was doing was and everything like that. And I was like, nope, definitely nothing was illegal. And so then, and in the video, I had also said, maybe I should power loop the highways, which would essentially me do this that I'm doing now, just over top of the two highways. And it was a joke, and it was meant to give a response. And so this guy commented on it and was like, everything you're doing is illegal. This is so wrong. I can't believe you did this. Yada yada yada. And I just kept egging him on. I just kept saying like getting into the comments with him, and not. I mean, I wasn't saying anything false or anything like that. He just kept coming at me with things, and I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like I know the laws. I have my license. Like everything's fine. And so so after that whole exchange, I was like, you know what? I am going to loop one of these highways. I looked it up, and it's perfectly within the law. I actually can loop because my drone is not hovering above the highway. It would be moving over the highway. I didn't want to do it over the highway, so I did it over this other bridge called the Second Street Bridge. So I did it, and I posted the video saying something snarky like they told me I couldn't, so I did, or something like that. So I posted the video. And then a couple hours after I posted the video, I get an email from the FAA, and they were like, "Hey, we noticed some discrepancies in your accounts. You don't have one of your drones registered. You have to stop flying until you get that drone registered." And I was like, sick. Okay, so someone reported me for that video, and then the FAA looked at that video, didn't complain about that video. They only complained about my drone not being registered properly. So I was like, sick. So I went on and posted a video being like, haha, excuse me, haha, you tried to get me in trouble with the FAA and they didn't care and this, that, and the other. And I probably shouldn't have done that looking back at it, but I did. I was gloating. And so the next day I get another email from the FAA saying, hey, we reviewed this video. We don't think that it's safe. We want you to take it down. And I was like, yeah, let's, can we jump on a phone call? And so I ended up calling this guy from the FAA, and he's like, you know how everyone jokes about having an FBI agent on the other side of your phone? Well, I have an FAA agent now. And so, so we ended up talking, and he was like, there's no doubts that, you know, you're the best pilot around, and what you did was really cool. He's like, but we can't have other people trying to do that, so the laws are very fuzzy on it. We would ask, he said, but there was a lawyer who did get involved, who brought this to our attention. So long story short, it was the guy who had been commenting on my stuff. His brother-in-law was a lawyer, and he called his brother-in-law and got a lawyer involved because the FAA apparently was not interpreting the law properly or something. I don't know. And so they just asked me to take it down. So I did take it down. But I wonder if that's something I should put on my Patreon. You can have exclusive video of me getting in trouble with the FAA. Wouldn't that be fun? But yeah, that is my story of how I got in trouble with the FAA. They were not happy with me. They're fine now. Like there's been multiple times where people have called on me just because they don't. It's one of those things where people don't know the rules, and so they just assume things, and then so they'll call the FAA, and so every once in a while he'll reach out to me and be like, "Hey, you had a couple calls from this, that, or the other," and I'm like, "Well, everything I did was legal," and he's like, "I know. I'm just letting you know that people are seeing you out there flying stuff." So he's a really cool guy, and I appreciate him, but that does not mean that everything with the FAA is fun, because don't get me started on remote ID. I'm not a fan, even though I've made multiple videos about remote ID modules, because you have to have them, and I'm not trying to get fined, but I don't like them. So, but yeah, that's my those are some drone stories. We have been live for 37 minutes. Let's go. Round of applause in the chat for me talking for 35 minutes straight. What who's been here since the beginning of the stream? Anyone been here since the beginning? Also, is it showing up? Well, here's a real question I've got. Is the stream showing up vertically? Like, are you all finding me from the shorts feed, or is this just like a straight up regular stream? Because I'm supposed to be streaming vertically. But I'm not sure. So if you all could give me some insight on that, that would be very helpful. Let's see. You can go up, go back. Let's try to hit this gap again. The ultimate ladder dive. It's okay. What's okay? The stream's okay? Listen, the stream is, it's a work in progress. Oh! Bruh! Did y'all see that? Are you kidding me? Can we get an instant replay? Can we replay that thing again? I don't have that capability yet. We made it all the way down. We didn't pull out of it, but alright, calm down. But we that was decent. I need to try that again. Hang on. We're gonna get this, because I was very impressed by that take. I mean, obviously I was spinning way too much. That would have been terrible. Okay, we completely missed it completely. It would be nice if I could set like a waypoint and it just reset me to that point, so I didn't have to keep going back to that starting line every single time. Ooh, missed the drop off. All right, let's try it from just right here. Okay, nope. Do you all want a stick cam? Like, I mean, we can. I'll just play like this. This is how we'll fly. Have y'all seen the guy who flies one-handed? That dude is insane. Anyways, that just made me think of this. What do we? All right, this I don't like flying with it up there. Stick cam, yes or no? Let me know in the comments down below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to see more drone content, I try to post weekly. But we've been having snowstorms lately, so that's been fun. That's kind of put a damper on flying, but yeah, that's where we're at. But I'm hoping to have a new video out tomorrow about a drone from a company called Ruco, and then next week I'll have a review out about the Beta FPV Meteor 75 that they just sent me. So so far so good. I'm gonna compare it to the Air 75 that they sent me. So they're both pretty much the same drone. And I want to be able to tell the differences because, you know, I've got 7 or 8 drones, but a bunch of them are different. And so having two kind of side by side that are the exact same to compare them, I think will be really cool. You wonder why the controller stocks are quite sharp. Why can't they just be smooth? It's a PS joystick. So I like having, so I don't know if you would be able to see on here. Mine are very sharp. I like having the sharp ones. It just grips your thumbs better. Now I do have these other stick ends that spin, and those are really cool. I did a video on those. Those are it's in my shorts. But the problem with those that I have is they are too thick for my hands. So your boy's got small hands. Let the jokes come in. Your boy's got small hands, and so this is a chunky controller. And the stick ends just make it uncomfortable for me. So, but I do like how those spin, not spend. Let's see. We got a Venmo notification. I thought maybe someone was being generous. No, I'm just kidding. It was applying for the Venmo credit card today. No, thank you. Yeah. So the stick ends are sharp because they want your fingers to stick to them, and you don't want your fingers sliding off while you're flying. So yeah, I stick my thumbs where they go, and then I guess I rotate my pointer fingers around a little bit, but. Oh, almost got that knife edge clean. Let's try that again. Oh, boom. Let's see here. Watch this. This is a crazy one to knife edge. Can't get it. There's also a gap in the ship. Right. Did they fill those in? Hold up. So they used to have... Maybe I'm on the wrong ship. Oh, no, it is this ship. I was like, there ain't no way that they filled in those holes. So let's see if I can get through this little gap right there. We'll come up. And then dive right through it. Oh, I definitely would have clipped a propeller on that. But let's try it again. We can just, we can go. Yo, what's up, Demo? Everyone put some W's in the chat for Demo, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing today, sir? You surviving? We're just crashing at this point. So Demo is one of the OGs. He was there for all of the old streams that I used to do. The man's been around since like day one, so dude is a legend. All right, that was not good. Try it again. It is this ship over here. Boom, that was clean. See if I can, oh, let me see if I can get that gap. Oh, nope, didn't get it. All right, let's try it again. Just hanging out, just chilling like a villain. I feel you on that one. So one of the reasons why I'm starting to stream again is because I'm in YouTube's vertical live stream course thing, and so we had a meeting today, and I was like, you know what? I'll stream today. Why not? Let's stream. So I'm gonna try to be consistent with these. I want to at least do a minimum of one stream a week. I don't know how many days a week I'll do streams, and that goes nowhere. I don't know how many days a week I'll do streams or what times and stuff like that. I know on other platforms I had a lot of success streaming from like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. or streams where I streamed from 5:30 a.m. until like 7 a.m. So we'll just have to see what we can do in terms of time and things like that. But I'm hoping to have a bunch more streams. That would be definitely the goal. I enjoy these. I especially enjoy whenever like people interact and stuff. It gets me thinking and talking, and I very much so enjoy answering questions and helping people with their drone journey. That's what it's all about. I know there's been a lot of things that I've gotten into, whether it be photography, videography, but whenever I was first starting off, it was always like the guys who were at the top never wanted to share any of their secrets or anything like that. And I just kind of take a different approach to where like a rising tide raises all ships. So I just want everyone to be the best that they can be, and if I can do that by sharing some knowledge and some failures or whatever I need to share, then it works out really well. So ask me questions. What's up, Kura Cha 822? I definitely said that wrong, but I can't. My chat window on my other screen is so small. I need to make that bigger. We're gonna improve everything. Everything will get improved with time. So don't you worry about it. Oh, went the wrong way for that knife edge. But I appreciate you stopping by and saying what's up. Yeah, we're chilling. And listen, the more you all can chat me, the more things I can talk about, even if it's just questions. If you got anything you want to know about me, anything about the drones that I fly, or how I got into it, things like that, I'm an open book, so we can chat it up. Also, I realized too that like if you're just jumping in, you may not know who I am. So I encourage you to check out my channel, hit that subscribe button, and look at some of the videos that I make, because we do drones. What do you recommend as a 5-inch drone? You're new to the hobby, but you're hooked? Oh, heck yeah. Well, first things I always recommend to people is starting off with a simulator, which is not what anyone wants to hear. But if you're already done with the simulator and you're good, so I have the iFlight Nazgul Evoke 5-inch. I love it. I know a lot of people say it's a heavier drone. You know, you can get sub 250 5-inch drones, but I really enjoy it. Another one is, I know a lot of like Axis flying frames. It really just depends on if you want to build it or buy it yourself. Gep RC's got some amazing drones. I hate to be this guy, but, well, I can't say this now. Y'all will see in a couple days when that review comes out. There's not really been a drone that I've flown that I've absolutely hated or anything like that. I know the Nazgul's got some thick boy arms on them, and so they are a little bit more sturdy. So I would look into something like that. But I mean, truly anything with I mean, anything that's pre-built is going to be fine as long as it's kind of like a reputable brand. Um, but then you can also build your own frames, and then there's a lot of awesome frames out there. Apex has a lot of good frames that people like. So yeah, and then you've got like Bot Grinder frames, and then Rotor Riot's got all kinds of frames. So I mean, I only have one 5-inch, and so I'm not. I don't have a bunch of them, so I can't really tell you which one's the best one. I just know which one I used, and the one that I used was the Nazgul, and it works well. I don't have really any complaints. I have bashed it several times. I've broken antennas off of it, broken camera mounts, things like that, and it's held up. So can't go wrong with it. It's a solid choice. And then it also comes down to your budget and everything like that too, because they can get very expensive very quickly, especially then you start talking about throwing GoPros on top of them, and then your goggles and controller if you're using a digital system. I mean, it just gets nuts. I'm actually trying to not, I don't want to say I'm trying to downsize necessarily. My problem is I want everything to work off of one set of goggles and one controller. And so I think if I upgrade everything, if I get rid of all of my original air units and upgrade everything to O3 and O4 air units, then I can just use my goggles 3 with my Avata, and then I can use this controller. Now, my Avata will always have to use the DJI controller, and I hate that, but that drone does make me the most money out of any of my other drones. Well, other than my cinema drones. So I deal with it. But yeah, it's so anyways, all that to say, I'm trying to get rid of my old goggles and my old air units in order for me to be able to upgrade everything to where they work on one set of goggles, one controller. I don't have to switch back and forth, because I mean, whenever I go out to a drone shoot, you got to think, I'll bring my cinema drone, I'll bring my Avata 2, and then if they want some specialized FPV stuff, then I have to bring a 5-inch drone and a 2.5-inch drone, and then a different Cinewhoop depending on what they're wanting. And so my 5-inch drone uses different goggles than my Avata 2, and then smaller drones use those same goggles, and so then I'm having to bring 3 bags worth of stuff, and it's just a lot. So I really want to kind of make everything much easier. It's the same way with all of my camera equipment. All of my camera equipment uses the same lens systems. They all have the same mounting plates on them, so no matter what accessory I have, it will work with every single camera I have. I mean, we're talking even like my Osmo Pocket 3, my cinema camera, my even my action cameras have some of the same mounts. So I just like things to all work together and to play nicely. And right now I've got 3 different video systems for my drones, and no, 4 if you include analog. And so it's just one of those things where I would like to get everything on the same video system. If you're flying indoor, this is contrary to popular belief, but I'm going to put you on some game. And FPV pilots are not going to like me for this. If you're flying indoor, the Avata 2 is it. I have made more money with the Avata 2 than any other drone that I have. Now, let me say this. It depends on what kind of indoor flights you are doing. So if you are flying indoor for like houses, which I do a ton of real estate stuff, if you're flying indoor for houses, for like businesses that are wanting to showcase their space and things like that, the Avata 2 is absolutely perfect, and I would suggest that one because it's got altitude hold without GPS, so you don't get any bounce in your video whatsoever. I will say though, if you're flying around people, I would probably not get the Avata because it's just big, and if you accidentally hit someone, that's a lot of force going into them. So for me, I fly the Avata 2 whenever there's no one in the space that I'm flying in. And then if I'm flying around people, like the one video I did where I flew through the shoe store, I used a different drone than my Avata 2. I used my Flylens 85. And that drone, I'm about to put an O4 air unit on it. That drone is amazing. It's such a small drone. It can be around people, but then it also has a ton of power to be able to do like freestyle stuff as well as smooth cinematic flying. So between the Avata 2 and a 2.5-inch drone, you would be set. The Esteto Corsa FPV mod, I've actually never heard of that. Send me a message or something with that in it so I can look it up, because that sounds interesting. This sim is called Velocidrone. It is one of my favorite drone simulators. The gravity on it, the physics, that's the word. The physics on it are phenomenal. And so I do like some other sims better for their graphics, but in terms of just raw flying, this sim is absolutely amazing. It's definitely my favorite. It's the one I've spent more hours in this simulator than I have any other simulator. And it allows for multiplayer, so we can do some multiplayer on here. If some of you guys want to jump in sometime, we can get the Discord server going and play together, which would be a ton of fun. I think it would be cool. We'll probably have it be like a members only thing, so if you're a member of the channel, then you can jump in and play, and if you're not, then you just get to watch. But I also don't know how to restrict that. Uncrashed, yes, I love Uncrashed too. I think that one, that's the other sim I play. Let me look. Yeah, I think Uncrashed is the other one that I play on here. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, Uncrashed, I love that one. I enjoy their races a ton. The problem is that one's a little bit more graphics heavy than this one is, so it doesn't run as smooth if I'm trying to live stream. It's originally a race sim, but someone modded it in an FPV mod to chase. That's pretty cool. Okay, sick. I'll have to try that. Now, my other question is would I need a gaming computer to play that? Because your boy is running on my editing computer in my Mac, and it does not handle, like, it's dying from this. I can guarantee you my computer is so hot right now. It does not like me doing graphic heavy stuff other than video editing, and even video editing it struggles with. I really need to get a new MacBook. That'll be one of the goals for the summer, is for us to get a new Mac, because yeah, it's definitely a need. But I want to play some more FPV simulators and other things like that. So I've thought about getting I have to get a new MacBook for my editing, because this one is very close to no longer being with us. Yeah, I do need a big computer for Uncrashed. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I've been thinking, so I'm going to get, the next computer I get will be a really spec'd out Mac M4, because I've got the M1 right now, and it's done fine, but it's 5 years old, and it's starting to struggle with all the 4K and 360 footage I'm throwing at it for my company. So I'm going to get an M4 Mac this summer once I sell my house. Oh, yeah, boy is selling his house this summer. So once I sell my house, I'll get the M4 Mac, and then I might get a gaming desktop set up for streaming. Just depends on how much I'm actually streaming and if it's a viable income source. Not to say that it needs to pay all of my bills or anything like that, but if I can stream for 6 months and, you know, make the price of the computer, then it's a win for me, absolutely. As long as I can just pay for itself, because I enjoy streaming. I'm not looking to, you know, make all kinds of money off it or anything like that. I've got other avenues that I do that with, but if it could pay for new equipment for the stream itself, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for checking out the channel and saying that I have great content. I try to put a lot into it, so That means a lot to me. And the MacBook that I'm currently on right now, it is a 2020 M1 MacBook Pro. I think it's got 16 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte hard drive. And it was, whenever I got it, I was editing in Final Cut. I used to edit in Final Cut, and so it was perfect for editing in Final Cut. Like, it ran so smooth and it was great. Now I use DaVinci because I'm really particular about my color grading, and so DaVinci is just a little bit heavier of a program. And with this Mac being so old, and now I do everything in 4K, it is struggling. And what's nice is, though, is like, I've got editors that work for me for my company, not for my YouTube stuff. And so they're all on DaVinci, and it just works so much better. You like the goal I have? Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to be able to stream, and I just want it, like, if I'm doing bigger and better streams, obviously I'll need a bigger and better setup, and so I just want streams to pay for it. It's kind of like YouTube. YouTube, I put a lot of effort into it. I love it. I would love for YouTube to be my full-time income, but I also have a media company. And so, but what YouTube does do, though, is, I put a lot of work into it, but then it pays for drones, essentially is what every penny I get from YouTube just goes back into me buying more drones so I can do more reviews or get new cameras or things like that. So I kind of keep all of my side hustles. Well, I wouldn't really say it's a side hustle. I've been doing this for 10 years. I try to keep everything, so like my business obviously pays for my lifestyle and then pays for the camera equipment that I need for my business and things like that. But then my YouTube pays for my drones and things like that. So I try to keep everything kind of like sectioned off to where, like, if live streaming started taking off and I made like, I don't know, like $600 in 6 months, then I would put that money into either upgrading camera, getting better computer set, like whatever, that kind of thing. I like to pour things back into what I'm doing. How many hours do I have on the sim? I have way too many. I probably have over 1,000 hours in the simulator. I'm telling you, I used to live stream every single day for at least an hour a day for about a year and a half straight. So it was a lot of time has gone into the stream. Into the simulator. And then even before then, I practice in the simulator for an hour a day. That's just kind of a daily habit that I have. I realize I'm not doing anything super crazy right now, but it's because I'm talking and flying, which is also a very important skill to have. So I'd like that this not only improves my drone skills, but it also improves my ability to kind of focus while I'm flying. So you've been wanting to learn DaVinci and over Premiere Pro. Here it's a big learning curve, though. Not really. So I have used every single editing software that you can. So I've used DaVinci, I've used Premiere, I've used Final Cut, I've used iMovie, I've used CapCut, I've used Luminos. No, hang on. There's another one that was for like iPad that starts with an L. Anyways, I love DaVinci more than any of the other ones. DaVinci is my favorite. I will not use another software other than DaVinci. There is a little bit of a learning curve coming from Premiere Pro, but it's not as bad as you would think. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also some key differences that just make it better. Like, I love editing in nodes. It's fantastic. Personal question, how much do you make on average a month as a YouTuber with 81K subs? So it depends on how well a video does and stuff like that. So a lot of my subs and the majority of my subs and the majority of my views has come from shorts. So I have one short that has maybe almost 80 million views on it right now. And so that still pays me. That gets about 1 million views a month. So that still pays me. Across everything that I do, all the videos I've made and stuff, I make anywhere from $400 to $600 a month on YouTube. Now, it probably should be more, given the size of my channel, but the problem is like my long form videos don't do as well as my short form videos, and short form does not pay anywhere near as well as long form. So that's kind of one of those things where, like, I get about 2 million views a month on my YouTube channel, and probably 1.8 million, no, 1.9 million of those, 9.8 million or whatever, it's a lot, comes from shorts views. And so it doesn't, you don't get very much money from shorts views unless you have like a viral video. Like the one that has almost 80 million views, I think in total over the past 2 years, I've made about $6,000 from that one video. What is my controller? So the controller that I'm using right here is the Radio Master Boxer Crush. I absolutely love this controller. I'm a pincher, as you can see. Well, as you can see, I hold my controller like this. And so this is a much more ergonomical controller if you're a pincher, whereas if you were a thumber, someone who flies with just their thumbs, you would want kind of like a game style controller for it. You use Filmora. So I actually haven't used Filmora. One of my buddies, I think, uses Filmora. I'm not sure. But yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question. I'm very transparent with pretty much everything that I do. I realize a lot of people look at the amount of subscribers I have and think that like, oh, you've got to be rolling in it and this, that, and the other. I mean, like, truly, $400 is awesome for a month for YouTube and what I do with it. And then, I've got companies who send me drones for free and things like that. So it's not necessarily all about the money for me. Obviously, more money is nice to have, but it's one of those things where it's like, as long as me doing YouTube doesn't take away from my business, that how I earn a living, and as long as it kind of pays for itself, like all the effort that I'm putting in kind of gets reciprocated with either free drones or a little bit of cash that I can spend on some drones every month, I'm very happy about it. And yes, I do use Crossfire. I have used Crossfire since I started flying drones, and that's just what I use now. I do have, since this controller is ELRS, some of the tiny whoops that I have are ELRS. I've never noticed a difference between using Crossfire and ELRS, but I've also not tried to fly ELRS long range like I have Crossfire. So I don't know if one's inherently so much better than the other. I know that ELRS is just cheaper, and so it works. Unless you're weird like me and thumb on a TX. Yeah, I don't see how you thumb on that. I don't see how anyone can fly FPV thumbs. It's really interesting because I fly FPV with I pinch whenever I fly FPV, but whenever I fly my cinema drones, I can't pinch. I have to use my thumbs. So it's weird. It is nice though, because obviously my cinema drones fly different than my FPV drones. So it's nice because I kind of differentiate the way I fly based on how I hold my controller, if I'm using thumbs or sticks or pinching. And so it's really interesting. I don't know if other people kind of do both or not, but I do both. You just built your first drone and only been flying in horizon mode because you don't have goggles yet. Yeah, I definitely want to have goggles. Definitely. Goggles are it. I cannot fly my FPV drones without goggles. There's a lot of guys who fly like line of sight and can do crazy things and stuff. I'm not that. Throw me in some goggles and I can do anything you want, but have me not wearing goggles and it's not happening. I get turned around and stuff. Just watched a short mention, how dare you wake up the person from thine slumber. Yeah, that's my crazy reel that went viral. Listen, the person never woke up. And truly, so one of the things that people don't realize is the view that they are watching, that is the view from the drone, is the view from the camera that's on top of the drone. That's not the view that I'm seeing in my goggles. And so in my goggles, the colors are very muted and aren't as vibrant as that and stuff, and it's a little bit more of a flat image, so I can see more in the shadows and the highlights, and so I could see them pretty well. Whenever I got my camera in position, I saw the blue jeans sticking out from the statue, and that was whenever I was like, oh crap, because as much as that person had a right to be there as well as I did. Obviously, they were sleeping and stuff, and that's a whole nother issue. But I just didn't want to disturb anyone, and drones can be scary, especially if you were waking up from something and you heard a drone around you. That would be terrifying, and I wouldn't want that for anyone. What is my RTX? I'm I'm not sure what you mean by RTX, which is probably a problem that I don't know. My VTX, I use DJI stuff. RTX, I'm guessing that is my controller stuff. I use Crossfire. You got a new sub brother. Never watched anyone else's live streams. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I very much so enjoy doing the live streams. It's a way for me to like connect with people. I have I've got 80,000 subscribers, and I know maybe 10 of them. And so this is kind of a way for me to interact with you guys and talk with you all and really get to know you all in a way that I can't. Because sometimes, I'll be honest, I get probably 200 comments a day on that video of me flying around the homeless person, and it's a lot to respond to, and I just get overwhelmed with how many comments I have to respond to and stuff. And so here it's kind of like I'm specifically focusing on getting to talk and interact with you all, and I enjoy it a lot more than kind of you do a comment and then it'll be a week before I respond, and then I do a comment and it'll be a week before you respond. This is kind of like we can just chit chat back and forth as we're going along. Also, my brother just texted me, and he is on his way over here. So whenever he gets here, I'll have to. We won't put him on camera. He's everyone. He's the best. But we won't put him on camera. I don't want to distract from what we've got going on. So, and then yeah. So no, but I enjoy being able to hang out and kind of talk and break down the barrier and just. I don't know. It's fun. It's I get to make a connection with you all. So I appreciate you watching the live stream. Appreciate you subscribing. Hit that like button. I don't know how often I will stream or like what times or things like that. It's kind of a work in progress, but it's one of those things where I just needed to do it. I've been talking about wanting to get back into live streaming for a long time, and that's how I grew my audience on some other platforms. And it's just something I've really enjoyed. And so being able to, I just needed to do it. I was like, I need to get a new computer. I need to get a better camera set up. I need to, I've got my whole filming studio in the other room, and I need to do it over there. But then I'd have to move my computer. And today I was just like, you know what? We're just going to stream. We're just going for it. Do you know how far away Crossfire can fly? That's what you got. So I've heard, depending on how strong it is, how strong you have your transmitter set to or your receiver set to, that it could be like 2 miles. I have never, I've never lost reception on my controller. There was one time I was flying through a hotel, and it kind of like blurbed for a second, but I was inside. But I've never flown, so far that Crossfire couldn't handle it. I haven't done any mountain dives yet, so we'll have to see about that. But, with FAA rules, you can only fly as far away as someone can see the drone. So Crossfire can always go farther than what your eyes can see. So you should never have to have any worries about your range with Crossfire. I don't know if you caught that, but getting into the more professional gigs with your drone, and you've always had trouble with pricing for different clients. Any tips? Yes. So don't price yourself short. Don't do it. There will come along clients who will pay your full price, that what you require. So I structure my pricing just based on what I'm doing. I used to do kind of an hourly pricing structure. The problem is I'm now like I can walk into a house for what I used to charge an hour for, of walking into a house, setting it up, flying through it, all that kind of thing. It used to take me like an hour. Now it takes me 15 minutes. So me charging for an hour doesn't really make sense because I'm just faster than I used to be. So I charge by project. So for instance, if a realtor is like, hey, we want a drone tour, we want outdoor drone pictures, we want indoor pictures, I don't do it based off of time anymore. I do it based off of, okay, here's what I charge for a house to do that with. So like, pictures Just regular indoor pictures are like 150 to 200 bucks. Outdoor drone photos are 100 to 150 dollars, and then a drone tour starts off at $350. So it's one of those things where, you know, a realtor doesn't care how many hours it takes me to do something or anything like that. I just charge based on the product because they want a finished project. So, which is another reason why I use the Avata for so many indoor things, because of the altitude hold, because of how easy it is to fly it. I can get done with a house in 15 minutes flying through it and do it one time and have it pretty much perfect. Now, every once in a while, I'll have to fly it twice or maybe a third time, but that's a very rare thing. So, if I'm charging and scheduling myself for an hour each house, I'm actually doing myself a disservice whenever I could be doing 2 houses an hour. So I would try to charge based on kind of project instead of kind of telling people what you're worth, what an hour of your time is worth. Because for instance, people can't fly, like, while yes, anyone can grab an Avata 2 and fly it in normal mode and go through a house, there is something about the path that you take, the smoothness of it, how you edit it, things like that. So, you know, you're not just paying for someone to fly a drone for an hour. You're paying for someone to edit that footage, to interpret the path, to make sure that the house is being shown off properly. And so for those things, I charge what I should be charging. Let's see here. You'll join your live stream, bro. Just let me know and schedule. Heck yeah, dude. Let's do it. I also need to get tour guide Nancy, Mr. Kyle, to jump in a live stream too. We're gonna get all the people. I need to get CJ back in some live streams. We're just gonna demo. We're just gonna have parties with it. Does your editing time get factored into per project too? Yes. So, for instance, like with flying through houses, it's just $350 for a drone tour. So what they're going to get is they're going to get me flying through the house. They're going to get a fully edited product back that they can post on social. They're going to get a 4K version. They're going to get a 1080p version. If they want vertical versions, I can do that. I normally record everything horizontal. So if they want vertical and it's going to be a big project, I might charge a little extra because I'll have to either fly it twice or use 2 cameras. But normally, right now, I just try to charge per project. Now, for commercial things in my business, that is when you get into charging per hour and stuff like that. So for instance, I'll have a client come to me and say, hey, you know, we're doing a commercial campaign. We need 7 commercials for this thing. There's going to be 3 that are about, you know, the health department. There's going to be 3 that are going to be about a government program. And so we need a 90-second commercial, a 30-second commercial, and 2 15-second commercials from the content that you shoot. So in that case, I will charge them per hour of editing because I have to bid it to get the client some information based on like how many hours I think it's going to take for me to edit it and for my guys to edit it. So it really, you just kind of charge. There's certain instances where you will charge hourly, and then there's certain instances where it's just easier to charge by the job. I hope that helps. The map is called Coastal on here. This is awesome. I've watched your videos a long time. Thank you. Well, awesome. Thanks so much, Skyland Pixels. I appreciate you jumping in and leaving me a comment. That means a ton. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. But this is definitely, like, share this with your friends and stuff if they're interested in drones at all. This is, I mean, truly, this is easier than commenting because I'm able to just sit here and respond to your comments live, and we can get into like deeper conversations and stuff. How much of finding new clients is word of mouth versus you marketing yourself? So 90% of my business comes from word of mouth. Word of mouth is the biggest thing. Now, I have gotten a few drone jobs from YouTube. Just people seeing what I've done with other drone tours and stuff like that, or with commercials, and they've wanted me for that, but really it's word of mouth. And once you get word of mouth, I mean, that is the ultimate thing. Like, for instance, my girlfriend works at a barber shop, and she's got, you know, clients in her chair all day long she works in not high class, a premium barbershop, that's what I should say. So like haircuts are expensive there. Like it is an experience. You get like straight razored, you get hot towels, you get like oils rubbed into your face, and it's intense. So a lot of the people that she deals with are business owners and different things like that from the community. So she'll sit there and someone will come in and talk about like, hey, I really need a videographer or a photographer or whatever, and she'll suggest me, and I've booked a bunch of work just from her referencing me. And then it's your clients and your other clients. So for instance, I work for some advertising agencies, and what'll happen is I'm one of the only guys in my city that does FPV drones, and I'm also one of the only guys that out of those who fly FPV drones who will take any job no matter what. So I've got, there's another guy here who only does drone tours. He does not only residential drone tours. He will not do anything else with his FPV drone. Whereas I will do like commercials for people. I'll do drone tours. I'll do business tours. Anything. If they want an FPV drone, I'm down to do it. And so, all right, I lost where I was going. Oh, so word of mouth. So I've worked with several advertising agencies, and what's really nice is they'll use me for either like for my filming skills with my company and what I do there for commercial stuff, or they'll see me and they'll see that I do FPV stuff, but then they will be happy with the work that I've done, and they'll if a client comes to them and says, hey, we need a videographer or we need something for this, they'll recommend me. And so it's really like one reference can have such a trickle effect with Demo FPV is a tier 2 supporter. Thank you, sir. I think you might be my first ever YouTube member or first tier 2 supporter or whatever it is. So thank you. I appreciate that. That's a new benchmark for me, or a new, not benchmark, but a new milestone for me. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Everyone give W's in the chats for Demo for becoming a tier 2 supporter. Thank you so much. But yes, word of mouth is the best way to do it. So free work, free work, free work, free work. Now, that is not to say that you should not get anything in return for free work. I'm not saying that whatsoever. And this whole thing of like, we'll give you exposure. That's not, we don't do things like that. That's not how we do things. So for instance, I had a nonprofit organization reach out to me a couple weeks ago saying that they had a sponsored breakfast for their nonprofit. It's a foster home place, and they want their sponsors to be able to tour their facilities. But the problem is the foster care, there's a lot of like legality in terms of identity and like the kids being shown and stuff like that. So they can't just march these 150 sponsors through their buildings while the kids are there. So the guy, one of the guys who works there, reached out to me. He's a friend, and he knows me. And so he had seen that I had done drone tours, and so he reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to do a drone tour for this. I think it would be a great way that we can just show the video of the facilities and people don't have to walk through it. It's really an awesome technology thing that you do. We would love to do it. We can't pay you what you're worth, but we'd love to, do something for you to make it worth your time. And so because of that, all of these people that are their sponsors are very high up in business. They're political leaders. They are like important people. And so what I said was, okay, sweet. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do it for completely free. I'm going to do everything that you can imagine. If you've got 2 facilities you want me to fly through, if you've got 3, if you've got 5, we're going to make this the sickest video ever to get your people to sponsor you. But here's what I need in return. So I said that my watermark has to go on the video, that there has to be an end screen on the video of my company's logo. I have to be listed as a media partner for the breakfast, and then anytime that they use any of that stuff, they have to tag me in it. And so we got that all in contract. So it's one of those things where, yes, I'm doing the work for free, but there is 150 people who are going to be in this room who have never heard about FPV drones, who have no idea what they are. And these are people with money who need my services, whether they know it yet or not, to showcase their businesses and advertise for them and stuff. So out of these 150 people, they're going to learn what FPV drones are, because they're going to see it firsthand, which means I don't have to explain to them what I do, which is one of the hard things about having an FPV drone business, because people just don't understand that there's a difference between FPV and normal drones. And then it gets awareness out, and then they know about my brand. And so they're seeing my brand, that I'm, wanting to be a part of this community, wanting to help out, wanting to further their mission. And, I even told them that, like, hey, I'm going to record a behind the scenes video of what we do for this shoot, so that way I can post it to my YouTube. We'll attach a charity donation thing for it, so people can see what you all do and donate to it and stuff. So it's free work. I'm not getting paid for it, but it has the potential to get me some amazing contacts, and to really help this organization out. So those types of things are the free work that you want to do. You don't want to do the things where it's someone who is like, hey, I'm going to give you exposure, and you're going to do all this work for me for free, and then while you're doing all that work for free, I'm going to ask for more. So you got to make sure that when you are doing free work, that these are the people who either have influence to be able to push your name out there. They other people book because of services that they've done or whatever, or you're helping the community. And I said that, I've said that I've traveled a lot. All of my traveling has been for companies that I have worked for free. So what I do whenever I travel with companies, a lot of times, is I'll say, hey, a lot of nonprofits, I'll be like, hey, I will go and capture this whole trip. I'll do video, I'll do photos, I'll do everything that you want. We can do anything, social media, documentary style stuff, whatever you want, but you have to pay for my trip. So I've gotten to go to Africa, I've gotten to go to Guatemala a couple times, I've gotten to go to Peru, I've gotten to go to Mexico, I've gotten to go so many places for free, where I didn't have to pay anything, and I just offered up my services as collateral. So I got to spend a month in Africa, I got to spend a week in Guatemala 2 years in a row, got to spend a week in Mexico at an all-inclusive resort. That was a wedding I did for free. So there are opportunities for free work where you also get things back in return. Yes, no problem. I try to be as thorough as I can in my answers. Thank you, Ryan, for the W's in the chat for Demo, the first Tier 2 supporter. Ryan, thank you. Yeah, so those are the things that, free work is great. Free work absolutely helps you get your name out there. But you always want to make sure and not... It's hard for me because I'm dealing with a lot of nonprofits, so I'm like, I don't want to be selfish. I want them to be the beneficiary of this, but at the same time, I have to get some... I can't pay $1,800 to go on a trip, a mission trip across the world, and then be giving my services for free. So it's a way of I would, if I was doing that, my day rate for all of my cinematography, commercial, and documentary stuff is like $1,500 a day. So if that's a week, you multiply that by 7. We're talking like $9,000 for me to bring a whole production company to a foreign country to film everything that they need me to do. Or they can pay $1,500 and I can go for free and enjoy it. And then this is these organizations are charitable organizations, and people all over the world see their stuff, which then my name is then attached to. So it works out. But you don't want to be, obviously you don't want to be asking too much if you're doing work for free. You want to kind of have a balance of, I want to give something to you, but I also need to make sure that me giving this to you is worth my time. And then there are some times where, you just want to do something for free for someone just to help them out. And that's a completely different thing of there's been times where people have been like, I can't afford this photo shoot. This is for my kid. We've had a hard time. We've gone through a bunch of difficulties and stuff. And I'm like, okay, then yeah, let's do it for free. I have no issues with that. I want to help you. I want to bless you. But me as the business owner, I get to decide when I want to give things away for free to help people, or when I want to, or whenever I need something in return. And it's supposed to be this kind of, oh, you're working for exposure. Well, I'm going to put things into place and put contracts into place to where my exposure is guaranteed. Because that's the one thing is working for exposure is important. You have to get exposed. If no one sees your stuff, no one's going to book you. But the problem is people will say, oh, we're gonna give you exposure, and then they don't tag you in the video that you made for them, or they're not pushing you like they should. And so if you can turn around and say, okay, here's what the requirement is if I'm going to do this work for free, every single Instagram post that features my content has to say that I was the one who shot it. I have to be tagged in it. You have to, tag me in everything. And then you put that into a contract to where you say, hey, the price of this is for free. If you break this contract and don't, advertise me, don't tag my name in it and stuff, then you owe the full amount to the service. And whenever you start putting dollar amounts to services and things that people are getting for free, and you're like, hey, this would normally be $3,000, but I'm giving it to you for free, then they do what's in the contract, because they don't want to turn around and have to A, go to small claims court or whatever, and then B, pay that amount of money for the free work that you are offering them. So do you think the O3 air unit holds up in today's professional market, or would you just get the O4 to capture footage at this point? So that is a fantastic question. I don't think that the O3 holds up compared to the O4. I think it can. If obviously if you're recording a flat profile, you're good at color grading, you can make things look better than what they are. An experienced editor can make an O3 air unit look better than someone who has an O4, or even someone who has a GoPro on top. So that's one of the things, is it really just depends on how much editing you want to do with it. Personally, I'm going to have, since I film with the Avata 2 and the new O4 air unit is the same as the Avata 2, I'm going to switch one of my tiny whoops, or my Cinewhoops, to the O4 air unit, so that way the camera quality matches. And then everything else will be on the O3, just so I can use my Goggles 3 with them. I still use OG air units and stuff, because what I'm seeing does not have to be perfect. It's just about what the client is going to see. And if I'm having drones that I can't mount additional cameras like GoPros or Insta360s or whatever on top of, then I need to make sure that I'm giving them the O4 air unit and providing the best quality possible. So how do you manage someone breaking it? So I have not dealt with anyone breaking my contracts. It is one of those things where I lay it all out on the table for them. So whenever they sign the contract, I'm walking them through like, hey, listen, this is this amount. The service that I'm providing you is this amount of money. There is a clause in the contract where if you post my content without tagging me, without holding up your end of the bargain, then you will have to pay the full price of the stuff. And so normally, if someone is willing to sign a contract like that, they are willing to follow through on their end of the promise. If someone is not willing to sign a contract for you to do free work for them, then they're probably the type of customer who is not going to follow through on your exposure stuff. So then, if they post it without your consent, you've got it, in the contract, they don't tag you and stuff, then yeah, you would have a cease and desist, or you would do a lawyer. Luckily, I will say, lawyers are expensive. I don't ever want to sue anyone. I haven't had to sue anyone. I don't ever want to sue anyone. That has absolutely never in my life do I want to deal with that. But that is just a safeguard for me if they are not going to abide by the contract, and they know it's legally binding. So most people are not going to sign a contract unless they are willing to take on that amount of risk. And whenever you spell it out to them, like, here is what the services cost, and then if you post and you don't pay, then you can start adding clauses of like, there's a 10% penalty for every month that you don't pay it or whatever, and things would start to rack up. And then because they signed that contract, and as long as your contract was written by there's all kinds of templates and stuff online, but as long as your contract is solid, then they technically owe you that money. All right, let's get in a last round of questions in the next 5 minutes, because I think I'm going to jump off of here soon. My little brother's going to come over, and I haven't seen him in probably a week or two, so we're going to catch up and hang out. So going once, going twice. Any questions? Nope. Thank you guys for an amazing stream. I appreciate you all so much. We will be doing these more in the future. Hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you